start our recording again. Perfect. We were just catching up, and we all kind of have something funky going on with our internet. I don't know if does everyone watching experiencing delays, or is it just like me that's getting the delays?
I have white bars on you now.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, showing the white, so you're no longer in the red. Mirella, you should have
Okay.
just received a text with a 4-digit code. If you could share with me, that would be grand.
A text.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. 9428.
Thank you much. So tell me, what brings you here today?
Crystal. She roped me in. So what, well, you know what,
hang on one second, Mirella. Sorry. I don't have the blur, Crystal, just FYI.
Oh, hold on. Let me do that.
So go ahead, Mirella.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, she's working on that. You can talk now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, so I was just, I was having trouble, just frustrated, with the whole program. And then Crystal spent 2 hours with me, just working up filters and just kind of teaching me the ins and outs of how I could make the experience better for me. And that's it. It's also just mindset, right? Like thinking, okay, I'm just making these calls. And if they don't answer, who cares, right? Just, call them again in a couple of days, and so forth. And so I'm literally at the beginning stage of that. So now I'm just, trying to make contact with them. I still have the whole sometimes where they, I've called them and they just don't answer. But now I'm at the point where I'm going to be calling them like every other day. So I've got that consistency, going on pretty much.
And what about texting and emailing and leaving voicemails? What is that looking like for you?
So I was doing that before, leaving voicemail messages, texting, and emailing, but there was just no response with that. And I think that was the whole frustration part, right? The whole changing of the mindset, meaning that, okay, you know what, if they're not responding, let it be, once they're ready, they will. And then also Crystal just basically kind of changed it in my head where it's more of, finding out when they are actually ready to enter the real estate market. Right. So I think that's the key question. And it's funny because when you're cold calling, that's the first question that you ask anyways. So I don't even know why I wouldn't even be asking it with AgentLocator. So yeah, so this is what kind of brings me here today. And it was offered. I didn't know that this was something that was offered through AgentLocator. So once Crystal had offered it to me, I literally just jumped in. So I'm very coachable. As Crystal can probably allude to, because I know the first time that we spoke to, I think I wanted to, rip every hair in my body off. And as you can see, there's a lot of it.
She was definitely resistant at first. And I was thinking to myself, oh Lord, I'm not going to be able to help this girl. She is stuck in her ways. And probably the last 20 minutes, everything just started finally clicking. And she's like, okay, I'm going to give it a go. And she's like, this is amazing. This is amazing. Because it was brought to the attention to have her on the live dials, but I looked in her system and nothing was being logged. Nothing, which is very common. A lot of our clients, they're like, I just call them on my cell phone as soon as I get the lead. There's no tracking of your activities, so you don't know when you last tried to call someone, so you know when to do it again. Right? So you're just calling them one or calling them in the blue, and the chances of getting them on the phone, it's just random, is a lot less, just, unless it was organized, you're having a strategic plan to do that.
Mm-hmm. And Mirella, when did you bring on AgentLocator? How long ago did you?
So it's been a year. It's been a little bit over a year. And we haven't had any conversion yet. We did have a listing presentation that Mike and I did. Mike's my husband. He's a realtor as well. But then again, you know, it went like, it's just crickets, right? So that's another thing too. Sometimes I, you know, could speak to somebody thinking that everything is great. I'm like, okay, finally. And then literally you don't hear from them again.
Yeah. And how long have you been in real estate?
So I've been in real estate since 2019. My husband has since 2013.
Okay. And is this your first go around a year ago with internet lead generation, or were you using?
Yes.
Okay. And what was your expectation a year ago when you got Agent Locator? What was your expectation?
So it's not even me. It's my husband. So my husband and I come from different philosophies. I'm more of like work your database. You know, I do a lot of networking. So I build those relationships, whereas he's more of like, oh, well, a lot of realtors use lead generation sites. So let's do what the other realtors are doing because they've had success. So he does not, go figure, he doesn't even do Agent Locator at all. And this is his idea.
I was wondering that. I'm like, where is he here? Why are you here?
Yeah. So he just feels that, oh, hearing a woman's voice, which is total bullshit, right? So, you know, is more comforting maybe to the other person or what have you, right? Like even like during the call, Crystal, that he had, like, I don't think he said like what, maybe 5 words, like all together. So
Yeah.
I'm the one who does everything. But I'm more of that whole relationship building. And perhaps maybe that's why it's also been frustrating for me as well, right? I'm more of the Zoom call, like, let's have a relationship, let's build it, you know, nurture it, you know, and so forth, right?
So interesting. So it wasn't really your idea to bring it on. It just got kind of put on you because that's what everybody else is doing in the industry. So let's just make it work.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that makes a lot of sense. I always love to dive in and just discover, because I think based on probably your husband's expectation is this is another leg of business that everybody's doing. I'm going to bring it on and we're just going to have more business, not thinking about the systems and what it's going to take to actually make it work.
1,000%. So when I, and Crystal's heard this before, when I go and complain, the frustration, you know, he's got the business partner complaining, but he also has the wife complaining as well, right? So it's like a double whammy. And so then he was at the point where it's like, okay, let's just get rid of it. Let's just stop. And I'm like, okay, hold on a second. Let's figure it out. So that's when I went to Canoe, and then Canoe had introduced me to Crystal, and now Crystal's introduced me to you, right? So, but then again, like I said, and I'm all into the whole mindset. So I really had to change my mindset towards Agent Locator and accept the fact that, yeah, so consistency isn't just once a week or whenever you feel like it, or once every 2 weeks or what have you. It is that, no, you're going to see my number on your phone and eventually you're going to pick it up, right? Because you see it all the time. So that, like I said, like that's where I'm at. I'm really like at that beginning stage. So I'm almost treating this almost like, sure, I may have 50 leads, but I'm new.
Well, and I think a big piece of our mindset is also understanding where the leads are and what their expectations are, and where does that put us in that conversion piece. Because it's so easy to think I'm trading money for leads, and for me to continue to do that, I have to have a closing. So we get attached to that settlement because we want to improve our ROI. We want to improve our conversion rates. We want it to work for us. But we get lost in the process of understanding the actual lead itself, because we're like, damn it, you're online looking. Like, don't you want to buy? Like, I don't understand. Why are you looking if you don't want to buy? Like, why don't you want to talk to me? But we forget that everybody goes online right now, no matter where they are in the process, just because they drive past their neighbor's house. I was like, oh, home's on the market. Oh, I want to see how much.
Yeah, let's go check to see how much it is. Oh no, totally. I totally get that. And so that's Mike. Like that's Mike's thing. Like, oh well, we haven't even, made a sale off of this. And if we did make one sale, then we wouldn't have this, bad, let's say, thoughts of agent locator, what have you. And I'm like, no, you can't think that way either, right? So
messenger, yeah.
So
how long has it been since you have been working in the system and kind of had this new mindset?
Oh, I don't know what, like literally, well, I guess 2 weeks ago,
okay.
Right? Because when did so we met yesterday.
Yeah.
Crystal, and I think.
Yeah, so a week ago.
A week ago in a sense.
Yeah, like about a week ago yesterday, yeah. And then, or Thursday, I think, yeah. A week ago.
So tell me what shifted. Tell me what shifted from a month ago to this last week.
So what shifted is, again, well, number one, the filters. So the actual system, using the filters, because I wasn't using the filters one iota, or didn't even understand them. And then two, that whole where it's like, you know what, 24 seconds. If they don't answer, just hang up and move on to the other one, the next lead, or it's only a half an hour. And the whole consistency, like I said, right? If you're calling them every other day, then at least there's the consistency. They'll see your number, and hopefully they'll end up picking up by the 6th time or the 7th time, right? So I think that it's like we've always heard go for no, right?
Yes.
So that's the whole premise of it, I think, too, where it's like it's okay if they don't answer the phone, don't get upset, right? Or if they hang up on you, like I mentioned that to Crystal yesterday, how one person had hung up on me, but they actually had like 3 or 4 different profiles in the system. So
we can't help that. I had one hang up on me yesterday. I said, hey, it's Beverly. You were looking at homes and and click. So I shot her text. I said, hey, it's Beverly. You were looking at homes, just trying to do my job. Are you planning on making a purchase? She responded back, so sorry, at work. I'm really just looking right now. And the pressure that people feel when they're answering a number that they don't know, they automatically assume we're selling to them.
Mm-hmm.
And the quicker that we can flip that around and break through that defensive barrier, the more likely they are to have a conversation, because they don't even hear half the stuff that you're saying when you're breaking into that, hey, this is so-and-so. They're just thinking about, am I hanging up the phone, or do I want to hear what this person has to say? So they don't know your name. They don't know your brokerage. They don't know your website. All they know is I'm either hanging up or I want to continue listening to what you have to say. So we have seconds to break through that barrier, and identifying with where the lead comes from is the biggest piece of the battle of that entry, because they know what they did. So it's identifying, hey, Mirella, this is Beverly. I saw you were online looking at homes. I saw that you Google searched homes for sale in da-da-da. I saw you were on Facebook and you clicked on an ad. Guilty, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then it's like, oh, they're calling me. Yeah, I did something. So the biggest piece that I had to overcome in the very beginning was, this is my brokerage, this is my website, this is my everything, and just telling them everything, feeling like I had to get it all out. And then it's like, click. Who are you? Which company are you with? Which website are you with? Well, none of that matters.
Yeah.
What matters is just getting to the point and finding out, why the hell did they go online? Why are you in my database? Can I get rid of you so I don't have to call you again? Or can I put you in my queue? Because if I can get rid of you, that's one less I got to worry about.
Sure. And that's a whole mindset too, right? Like something to think about too. Like, and so, like, to me, when I hear that, it's more of the encouragement instead of the rejection.
Right. And I joke with people. I legit had a lady come into my website, and it was through realtor.com, but she goes, I called, I said, you were interested in seeing this property. And she goes, no, I'm the listing agent. I said, oh, okay. She goes, I'm just trying to figure out. She says, it is so misleading and misrepresenting online on how this property is being advertised because it's not showing me as the listing agent. I want to know who the lead went to whenever I registered. I said, oh, so you just cost me $80. Thank you very much. The home was already under contract. I'm like, what?
Why are you worried?
Yeah, I don't understand. But I'm making lemonade and I'm going, oh my God, that poor seller, right? I'm like, this is why I do what I do, because there's so many agents out there that don't have a clue on, I will guarantee you that seller said to her, my home's on realtor.com with another agent. How did that happen?
Mm-hmm.
The agent has no idea because they probably only sell 2 or 3 homes a year and they don't have a clue. I didn't run her numbers. I didn't pour stats, but I'm like, this is why I do what I do. Oh my God, I have to call more people today because I have to save these people from going with her.
Sure.
So when we flip that switch and we're like, oh my God, I gotta save my leads. So always when you go into your website, think of your competition that is your biggest sandpaper. That if that lead did business with that competition, you just can't let that happen. You just can't. And it helps you to really want to make those phone calls from a completely different perspective. And then when you get the call filters, you only have a few in there at a time that you're calling if you're staying consistent.
Sure.
And you're not spending hours upon hours and figuring out, you're not sitting down in front of the computer thinking, oh God, I got to call these leads. And then you spend 20 minutes figuring out who to call. And then you spend 5 minutes calling. So what is the biggest piece that I can do for you today in helping you to increase your conversion?
So today, we ended up getting a new lead, had registered yesterday.
Susie?
No, Madhawa. And she then texted us back just saying, message from lead, yes. And so I don't know what that yes means. I haven't called her yet.
That is, yeah, so that right there is the stopping clause. The essentially carrier companies that are out there want to be able to, the consumer, their customers, the ability to opt out. So, you know, when you sign up for something, it always says, to stop, please reply stop, to whatever, do these messages. So the same thing goes out when that lead registers on your website. It's like, hey, thanks for your registration's been received for whatever your website name is. To continue viewing listings, please reply yes. If you've received this in error, please reply stop. And so she replied yes, because she wants to keep looking at the listings.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even respond. And the majority of the ones that respond stop, it's because you've got a wrong number.
Okay, because I've never received that yet. So this is the very first time that someone has just replied with yes. So I'd really like to perhaps maybe call her. And then also that, remember that one, Yehia, that one that was saying, I just wanted to know the price levels in my area. And then we were going to put them on that sold, like that, create that new search. I haven't responded to him either yet, because I was waiting for us. So I don't know, like, you know what? It's funny that you'd ask me that question, Beverly, because I'm not shy to talk. You know, I'm quite comfortable on the phone, and especially now that you even said it, where, you know, I'd say, oh, hi, Beverly. You know, I see that you registered on my profile. So you registered your profile on my website, buyingandsellingrealty.com. I'm just calling to introduce myself. I'm Mirella. I'm from Remax Realty Specialist. That's the way I would start my conversations. So you're in fact saying not to just get straight to the point as to like, do you even introduce yourself and say, hi, my name is Beverly, or it's just, oh, well, you said, I've got notes.
It's hey, Mirella. It's
So,
hey, Mirella. So it's kind of with a, hey, Mirella. Yeah. I saw that you were online.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Mudhawa. I saw you were online looking at some homes in Mississauga. Just wondering what you might be looking for or what your future plans are.
okay, so I love that. The person on the other hand, would they think that that's creepy?
No, because they know they were online.
No, I know that. Now, will they think that it's almost like here you are looking at resorts, and then all of a sudden resorts come on your phone.
Oh yeah, the remarketing, right? So I love this question, Mirella. What was the last thing that you Google searched that you were researching? Maybe to buy, maybe Amazon, whatever. What was the last thing that?
Yeah, here I'll tell you. I guess, and this is probably going to be. So my husband and I are actually we're celebrating 20 years next Wednesday. So we're looking at hotels. So I was looking at like Millcroft Inn and like all these different inns within, GTA Ontario, like Southwestern Ontario. So now all of a sudden everything comes up on Facebook.
If I call you, if I would call you and go, hey, Mirella, I saw that you've been online searching some hotels. Do you have and this is like off the cuff. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not celebration, but I saw you online looking at hotels. Do you have a vacation that you're planning? Why are you looking?
It's funny you say that though, because when you would say something like that to me, I'd be like, oh my gosh, who the hell is this chick? That's calling me. I'd be like, oh my gosh, she's actually watching what I'm doing. Like that's me.
So now do you see why you have a hesitation on calling leads though?
100%. That's the question I asked you too. That's my mentality.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that, because why we feel like telemarketers, because we don't want to be a telemarketer. We hate when telemarketers call us. I don't want to be a telemarketer. But the reality is when you walk into a store, so let me ask you this. When you're online and you're searching hotels and you're like, what is the difference between this one and that one? If someone called you and said, hey, Mirella, I saw that you were looking at A and B. Which one did you like better? Well, I like B. I know it was mine. You would answer the question without even thinking about it because you're thinking of that question and here someone's calling you, answering it. You're like, oh my God, thank you. So just like when you walk into a store, and the analogy I use, because this has happened, right? You're in the middle of writing a contract and your computer crashes and you've got to get this contract in because there's a delivery deadline that you have to get the contract in. Oh my God, I got to go buy a new computer. Normally you walk into a retail store and the sales clerk says, is there anything I can help you with? What do we say?
No, just looking.
But, oh my God, I have a deadline. I have to have a computer. I don't know which one I'm going to buy. Is there anything I can help you with? Please take me to the computers. Teach me the way. I got to get in. I got to get out, right? The urgency of the other side. So when you get that little bit of resistance on, oh no, I'm just looking. They don't have a plan yet. It's up to us to figure out the plan. The other person, however, yes, I have been looking. I can't find the home that I've been looking for. Or yes, I have to be somewhere by the end of October. Yes, I have to be somewhere by November. Great. How long have you been looking? Have you just been looking online or have you been feet in the door? Have you looked in homes? Because now we can go a little bit deeper, but we can sense the urgency of their response based on that initial engagement. Just like our engagement would be walking into a store. Like, I just want to walk in here and get my fix because I love this jewelry or I love this clothing line. I may walk in and spend $500. I may walk in and walk out and spend $0, depending on my mood, depending on what I see, right? So the reluctance that we have in making that phone call is how we think they're going to identify us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. It's like you look in the mirror. That's who's fake, you know.
And
exactly,
guess what?
your reflection.
Guess what? It's never going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
You will always carry that piece of it. It will never go away. I've been calling leads since 2008. And yes, I've gone from being scared to death, my palms sweating, my feet sweating, to calling leads on webinars with hundreds of people, to calling live on Facebook. There's always that, oh, all right, well, we just got to do it. This is what I do. Or even my own leads. I'm like, oh, I am so exhausted. I have worked so hard today. I've earned my right to not call my leads. I'll call them tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's always that. And all that is us creating a distraction.
Sure. No, 100%.
Keep us from feeling that.
We all know it's like losing weight, right? We all know what to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's just freaking do it, right? Like, I totally get, yeah, I understand that. And you know what? It is true what you just what you just said. It is. So okay, so let me tell you one thing though. If somebody were actually say to me, yeah, I was looking, that's pretty freaky, how did you know? Then what would you say to that?
I have called hundreds of thousands of leads and I've never had anyone say that to me.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think this, with these generations and the way technology has steered over the past decades, people know when they're accepting the cookies exactly what's happening. They know that all the websites we visit nowadays is tracking every bit of detail in our activities in there. So I don't think it's a surprise to them that they know that you know what they were looking at. After all, they did register.
Sure.
Right? So they registered on there, so they may not even realize you're seeing exactly what they're looking at, but they know that you know that they were online looking at listings.
It's funny because I do say to them, there is a person behind the website.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
there is someone here. There's no robot.
Someone live. Yeah. So I do kind of soften it up a bit. So for me, like I said, that's what has been my hesitancy, I guess. But now I know the whole 5 second.
The only time you're going to get it is if you legit have a wrong number.
Mm-hmm.
And someone just popped a number in there and it's not really them. But I still ask them, do you happen to be looking? Do you happen to have any future plans? And, you know, if it's a Facebook lead, I politely let them know that sometimes with Facebook registration, people log in with their Facebook account. And if they had that number in the past and they didn't update their number in Facebook, I had that. And how I learned this was I make the phone call. It's a guy's name, but a lady answers. And I said, hey, I was looking for so-and-so. She goes, yeah, that's my ex-husband and we haven't been together for like 4 years. How did you get this number? And I said, well, does he have a Facebook account maybe with this number? She goes, oh my God, I set up his Facebook account years ago. And I said, well, he hasn't updated his number yet. It's still your number on his Facebook account. So any registration he does on Facebook is going to be your number. She's like, oh my God.
That's more of like, thank goodness you called so I can change it. But
I didn't know that until I learned that.
Yeah.
So now I can help educate people whenever, because a lot of times you're like, oh my God, like this is my 10th phone call. This person's using my number. And then I look at the lead source. I'm like, well, it's Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I have given the email address to people, especially if they've gotten 10 phone calls. I'm like, here's our email address. I just email them and let them know, hey, your number's being used on all these web portals. You know, it's, what do you get?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, are you willing to make phone calls so I can listen to you?
Yeah, I got a cue. I still don't have the blur. So I'm not able to share my screen.
You should have it.
Well, let me refresh again. Nope.
No?
Nope.
Try logging out and back in again.
I was just going to say, do you want me to log out and log back in?
Yeah, because I added it and saved it, so it should be there.
I had our dude all lined up to call. Nope.
Seriously?
Seriously.
All right, let's just
Seriously?
take this out again.
All right, so in the meantime, I'm gonna call Madhawa.
Gotcha. She can't show her screen.
Are we gonna get lucky the first time?
Oh, wouldn't that be awesome?
Nice price point.
Hello.
Hi, Madhawa.
Hello.
Hello, this is Beverly. Just doing a quick check-in. I see that you were online looking at some homes in Mississauga.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
wondering what your plans are. What might you have been looking for?
Sorry.
What were you looking for?
You mean around the house, is it?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have plans
Yeah.
on making a purchase?
Yeah. It was actually I just looked around yesterday. So that time I saw your advertisement. So I actually quite like that area also. So I mean, I'm from Midwell area.
Okay. It is.
So actually, we are just shortlisting these days some of houses. So actually, in person. So at the moment, do you have any clients for there?
What area for Mississauga? And I'm having a hard, there's a little bit of a language barrier. I'm having a hard time understanding you completely. Are you looking for a home for yourself?
Yes, I'm working actually myself and wife. We are both of us working.
Okay.
Are you an agent or?
I am
agent?
not. I work with Mirella. So it's her
You're the owner,
website.
right?
It's her website that you had come into. So it looks like you were looking in the Mississauga area in what, an $800,000 to $900,000 price point.
Right. Okay.
And what is your situation right now? Do you own a home?
Yeah. Actually, no. Actually, we are in an apartment. We are looking a house at this area. We are from Meadowvale Gardens apartment.
Gotcha.
So we are looking a house in this, close to this area.
And are
So
are you in a lease or are you renting month to month right now?
You mean the salary?
Your lease term, you're renting, right?
Monthly.
Monthly. Okay. When would you like to be in a home?
Actually, as early as possible, as soon as within 3 month period, we are planning to get it.
Perfect. And Mahawa, have you spoke to somebody about what your mortgage payment would look like on this price range of a home?
Yeah, actually, I have a realtor.
You do have a realtor.
Yeah, I have the personal realtor. So he's actually he's also seeing this area, but luckily I saw your advertisement yesterday.
Well, let me ask you this, because it's 2021 and everybody has a real estate license. And I just want to make 100% certain that you truly trust your real estate agent, that they're going to be able to negotiate in your best interest and find you the home and position you to make sure that they're saving you money. Do you 100% trust your agent that you're working with?
Yeah, he's actually one of the 9 person from my back home also.
Okay. And I certainly respect that. I do not want to step on any toes. If anything were to change, you have our number, give us a holler back, and we would love to have that opportunity of earning your business if anything were to change, okay?
Okay, all right. Sounds good.
Thank you so much. You have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What a great training call.
Yeah.
And Rajiv is here commenting. He's understanding what he's saying, that his brother is a realtor with cash back and half the commission.
Yep. And in that beginning, I was like, whoa, I was really struggling to understand what he was saying. I didn't hear the cash back half commission.
Neither did I.
That frustrates the hell out of me. I get it. And I just had this conversation with the team this morning, and had the language barrier not been there, that would have taken a different tone, because I would have called him out on that. That's awesome that he's willing to give you half the commission back and he's not charging you. But reality is he finding you every home that is on the market, and maybe even homes that aren't on the market yet? Because let's face it, when it's family, they're not working as hard to earn your business. So, yeah, language showing the confused state. Absolutely, Chief. Yeah, no doubt. That's almost an impossible conversion, but I never throw the baby out with the bathwater, because I look at it like this. It's somebody that I've already lost. I have nothing to lose, rather than practice my communication.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Because you already lost it.
So what would you, okay, so Crystal, how do you like filter him? We're
going to tag him. So we tag those leads. We call them future opportunities. He could be a buyer loss because his brother is a realtor. So it's going to be a lot harder to ever earn his business because of that. So if it was any other situation, we would tag them as a future opportunity has an agent. We could also tag them as potential referral opportunity, because there is a language barrier. So we could always refer it to somebody that we know would actually be able to communicate properly with this individual. And then that's basically, we wouldn't really do a follow-up on him, which makes it tricky and we'll have to look back at your check-in filters, because we want to get them off your made contact list. So we can also just include the tag that is not, buyer loss, has an agent, or what have you. So they're off that list. And usually what I would say to anyone that has somebody that they tag as a future opportunity has an agent is to create a filter for that. So where the filter is, has an agent, was last active in the last 30 days, and has not been contacted in the last 30 days. And so you're reaching out to those people monthly, essentially, and they're not going to remember the conversation that you had. Right. So you're just doing a standard check-in with them, just making sure everything's still good with the listings, all hunky-dory. Okay, have a great day. And then you may actually be checking in on them more than their so-called agent they claim to have it.
Okay.
Mirella, what she's saying is taking your dashboard and looking at when you look at the pipeline status of new, tried to contact, made contact, we want to be moving our leads through that status so that we can track and trace. But what happens when we have a conversation like that, if we're not tagging them, it's almost like picturing shopping in a store with nothing on the shelves. When you walk into a store, you know exactly where to get your product because they have the overhanging signs and all of the shelf tags. So if you go into the store and you're looking for something, but you have to go back into the stock room and look through unmarked boxes, it takes you a long time to figure out where the product is, and it's not really worth your time.
Sure.
So when we're really organizing our dashboard to every conversation that we have, we don't want to forget and we don't want to lose, because we're building data. It's a good phone number. It's probably a good email address, and it's a good name. We know he's going to be buying. It's data. So like Crystal was saying, when you tag them, you're taking every conversation that you're not going to be putting this person in your pipeline, because the chances of you closing them are 70% or less. So you group them just like you do in the grocery store. So we have the future opportunity tags, the buyer loss tags, the situation tags, so that we can go back and, like Crystal was saying, you can work them in the group from the dashboard and go, oh my gosh, I haven't talked to this person in 5 months. They had an agent, but they're still actively engaged. Maybe that agent got the ball, and now I can come in and pick it up.
So that Madhawa, he goes into the made contact, right? So we're going to go back. I'm going to go back and I'm going to tag him, but he still goes into the made made contact, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I look at that list to call, because he has that tag, I know I'm not going to call him, but will he always remain in that?
I'm going to take him off. So we'll add another tag, none, to eliminate him off of that list. Because we can create another list for you that's specifically for those that have indicated they have an agent.
Okay, good.
So we'll take
cool.
them off that list. So we'll put them in their own category, leaving your made contacts, the ones that we've made contact with, but we still need to get further information from them.
Because sometimes, I don't know if this, well, I'm sure it happens we're in 2021. Sometimes they could also just say that they've got a realtor because they just don't want to talk to you either.
That's why I go into detail and say it's 2021. Everybody has a real estate license.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that you are 100% certain. And that's where two of our we just went to closing on one last week, but two of our conversions, she literally was online searching for sold data to be able to justify the offer her agent told her to go in at. The home was at 335. I did not know this when I called her, right? Because she comes in as a lead. I saw you were looking at homes and da-da-da.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, I was actually looking to see what the price range was in this neighborhood. She said, because we looked at a property in that area. Didn't say she wrote a contract. And I was pulling it up while I was talking to her. And what I do is I don't give them enough information yet. I'm asking them questions while I'm pulling the information. So I asked her how long she'd been looking, and she said she'd been looking for a while, and she was really frustrated with the market, that she was really frustrated with how many offers were on properties. And then I said, well, I have the property pulled up. I said, there's actually two in there. She says, yeah, but we put the offer on this one. And I said, oh, okay. I said, you already wrote an offer. She says, yeah, we did. And I said, and you were looking to get an idea of, I said, didn't your agent talk to you?
Yeah.
You know where I'm going, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I did. I said, didn't your agent talk to you and educate you on what a good offer would be? And she says, no. She says, they sent it over to us and it just seemed like a lot. And I says, well, tell me what happened. She goes, it's listed at 335. She says, I told the agent I did not want to lose this property. What do I need to do to win it? She says, write it for $400,000.
Mm-hmm.
I said, please tell me that you did an appraisal contingency. She said, I don't know. What does that mean? I said, well, and I explained to her the financing, right? And the amount.
Yeah.
I said, the last home in here sold at $350,000. I said, so by you going in at $400,000, if there's not an appraisal contingency, they're going to take that offer.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to put you on the line. How much money did you put down in earnest money, right? So then I find out her husband signed the offer and they had no idea what they signed. I said, did they submit it to the seller yet? She's like, no, because the deadline was 5:00 today. I said, look at that offer and please verify that you have an appraisal contingency. She's like, I can't find it. Can I email it to you? Sure.
Wow.
Sure. I look at it. I said, you have no appraisal contingency. And she goes, can you tell me again what that means? And she goes, oh my God, what do I do? I said, if you were my mom, since you're asking me and you already have an agent, all I can say is mom, right? So I'm taking that responsibility off because I really can't.
You can't advise, no.
I said, I would pull the offer. And she goes, well, how should I write it? And I said, well, and then we talked about the pricing, right? If the mortgage makes sense and you're okay bringing the $50,000 a table, there's nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
But is this your forever home? Yes. I said, but what if something happens to a family member and you have to sell next year and you just paid $50,000 over?
Wow.
Right. So we're going through a 45-minute conversation. I knew I wasn't getting her business, but again, oh my God, I have to save everybody from dumbass agents that are telling people to write offers at $400,000 without any due diligence. And I can't even believe that a buyer would do that. So, I called her back the next day And I said, what did you end up doing? I said, I just wanted to check in on you and see how things were going. She goes, well, I lowered the offer to 380 with an appraisal contingency. And I had explained to her, I said, you didn't go $1 million with an appraisal contingency. They're not going to take it if they have a 350 cash offer with no appraisal contingency,
Sure.
right? And she says, well, they didn't take the offer. And I said, can I just ask a question? Do I now have the opportunity to earn your business? And her husband was in the car. And he said, I'm so tired of my wife finding the properties for this agent and this agent telling us what to write and us not winning.
Should be the point.
I said, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to send you some properties. And my agent did. And this was probably like 1 PM. And Kimberly sent her the properties later in the afternoon. We didn't hear anything back from her. She didn't respond. I called her the next day. I said, Huda, we sent you over properties. Kimberly didn't hear back from me. She goes, well, the agent sent me a property. I think we're going to write a contract on it. Long story short, they ended up not writing an offer on it. And the agent yelled at her, told her she didn't know what she was doing, that she did not want to represent her anymore, that she needed to make up her mind on what kind of house she wanted and write a proper offer. And I said, and she called me, she goes, are you still able for us to hire you as an agent? Now, this goes even better. The home that we got them, the home that they wanted to write on, that we got their business, the home that they wanted to write on was only offering 2.5% commission. We charge 3%.
Mm-hmm.
And we charge a $695 transaction fee. And I said to her when we were positioning the offer, I said, unfortunately, the seller is not willing to pay our full commissions. Our commissions are 3%. So when we go to closing, you're going to see on the settlement statement an extra 0.5% coming from you going to our brokerage to supplement that extra 0.5%. And we also have a $695 transaction fee that is going to be on there as well. She says, okay.
Mm-hmm.
They had an agent.
Crazy.
They had
Yeah.
an offer on a property. So never throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
Because there is so much misrepresentation, especially in this market right now.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, no, I totally agree. One last one. Would you be able to perhaps maybe call that Yehia? Because he was the, sorry?
Spell it.
Oh, Yehia. So maybe it's a girl.
All right, Yehai. IA.
So she's the one that said, thank you, Mike. Just wanted to know the price levels in my area. Mm-hmm. So, maybe she's not thinking about it now. Well, mind you, who knows, right? I don't want to put scenarios in her mind, but
is she a rental lead, or is this like literally a $2 million to $6 million buyer?
Well, we don't know that.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's homes in their neighborhood. So what I had suggested to Mirella is, well, you have the ability with your board and the system to send sold listings. So you now need to dig a little bit deeper in a phone call to get that information. Are they thinking about a sale, and set them up to receive those sold listings? So you're then getting their address and a little bit more details about their home, so they can then monitor the market and then try to get them on the listings where they may want to be moving to.
And we don't have an address, right?
No.
Maybe 2 for 2.
See.
You have reached. Yes, sorry.
It's a good number. What I would do is I would leave a voicemail calling this one back.
Okay.
If you've set them up, so hey, Yehia, I think that's how it sounded on the voicemail. Mm-hmm. And the beautiful thing is you can go back and listen to that recording because it'll say it there. And then what I put in the lead description in that right under their name is sounds like, and then I phonetically spell it out. So I say it her whenever I call back. But I would leave them a voicemail and say, hey, I know that you're looking for some solds and numbers in your location. What exactly is your location that you want those numbers for?
Yeah. Okay.
And then see if you can just get him to call back. Or, you know,
Just let him know. I'll be sending you. So I would love to send you the sold
Yeah.
pricing for all those homes, right? Because the sold information is really what matters, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's looking at list price. Well, don't you want to know what they sold for? Because that's where that's what really matters.
Yeah.
After you leave the voicemail, I would shoot over a text.
Okay.
Hey, just left you a voicemail. Was just wondering, you know, what exact data can I send over for you in the particular location so that I can really narrow this down.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
And I would keep him in tried to contact until he legit does follow up with you. And that Sweet Go just gets the grace.
Yeah.
And I have started leaving voicemails, and it was something that I'm not going to say I was ever against it, but it really depends on my intention and how much time I have whenever I sit down to make the calls on whether or not I leave a voicemail, because it does take time because it's more than 23 seconds.
Sure.
I can usually get more callbacks, but if it's somebody that texted back something specific.
Like this. Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
Leave that voicemail, be personal. If you really want to take it to a whole new level, do a video text. Because then that really ensures you're a real person.
Oh my gosh, I am totally video. Like I even do Facebook videos to all my business advocates, you know, just saying, hi, how are you? You know, how do you do a video?
You would have to do that through your phone or record the video, put it wherever. And then if you were to send it through the system, create like a link to that video.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay. And what you could do is you could kind of pretend that this number is your assistant's number.
Sure.
And with Yahia, if you want to send him a video text from your phone, you can just let him know, hey, my assistant's been trying to get a hold of you, which explains the different phone number.
Yeah.
And then you can just send a video text and say, hey, Yahia, this is Mirella. I got your information that you were looking for this. Just want to get information over to you and just let me know exactly what I can do for you. For sure.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. Thank you so much. This has actually been terrific. Total shift 180. It only took a week.
I say I do this. I just want to make a difference in one person. Just one person.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. So this is, this is fantastic. To be quite honest, I almost feel like, oh my gosh, now I actually want to do it. And I don't feel as that it's a chore, you know, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah, this is great. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely. And find me on Facebook. I have 2 Facebook accounts. I have one that's more my real estate account, Beverly Ruffner. But I have so many archived videos of doing this live and online.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And I know, Crystal, I'm sure I'm going to be, you know,
I know.
Just asking you a few questions here and there. Like, how do I do this? How do I do that? What do you think of this? But I know you guys have been great.
Well, those are the people that we love to communicate with because we know you're working the system.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And that's what I mean. Like I'm very, like I said, I'm very coachable. And I think that once you actually teach somebody how to do something properly and give them ideas and, you know, then like I said, it just changes your whole outlook on the whole program too. Right. So
yeah. Absolutely.
For sure.
Thank you so much for
thank you. Sorry about being a little late. I didn't have the link, so that's okay. It all worked out. I'm glad.
You have a good day. Thank you.
Yes, so much. You too. Okay,
everyone.
All right. Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.